Welcome to Amish Meadows. I'd like to introduce you to my wife Priscilla. I'm Joas, and we're one of the owners of meadowlarkloghomes. And today we just want to give you a quick little tour of our garden of our Montana Haven homestead. And that's what we call this place. When we bought the place, or when we started, this was bare land on the 20 acres that we live on. When we started our homestead, there was nothing here but just trees, and that was it. And since then, we've lived here since 2005. Late 2004, I started pushing dirt. And since then, we've had 5 children here, with it ranging from 4 years old to twins at 13. And we have built our home, built our garden, and this is how we've carved out our lifestyle. So welcome to Montana Haven, welcome to Amish Meadows, and I invite you to follow us as we give you a tour through our homestead here. So let's go ahead and show you our landscaping here. And the main reason we did this landscaping is Priscilla and I both are a little on the artsy side, and we like beauty. And we're still, that's probably the main reason we actually haven't done our landscaping yet, is because we're so wanting to make it beautiful that we tend to stall, unfortunately, sometimes. Yeah. But we did start with this, and we dragged this little stump out of the woods and we put it here. And we actually, last year, we had our 15th wedding anniversary celebration. And so we finished the front of the barn, and we put this landscaping in here. And so we invited over 100 guests, and we had them all out here in tables, and we set it up really beautifully. And then we had our celebration right here in front of the barn. So that was really nice. We had the landscaping here for that. And so this year it's even grown up nicer and taller.
Yeah, we could practice on the barn before we do our house.
Now the only problem is we have white-tailed deer around here that really like to eat landscaping. And so we tried to pick all the items that they don't like.
Yeah.
But they do like Virginia creepers, you can tell. We had to put this fence here because until it gets tall enough, they keep nibbling away at the leaves. Yeah. Now this barn is more of a traditional post and beam timber frame style barn building. And as you can see, it's got the main posts and everything holding it up. Then I use board and batten in the center to kind of finish it off. When my dad grew up in the Amish community in LaGrange County, Indiana, this is how they would build their barns. They would build it post and beam, and then they would fill it in with board and bat or some kind of, that usually board and bat, that's what they had back there was lumber. So yeah, I'll show you around a little bit. We built everything that we have here. We built mainly from scratch here. We built all our doors and all that. Here's some of the garlic that we harvested in the garden.
There's a whole bunch of different varieties.
Yes, we have like 11 varieties. And here's one of the bulbs that we have. This variety is actually called Amish, believe it or not. So purple striped garlic, kind of like what you see there. And then we've got just a lot of other kinds of garlic here. So we've been asked, is this a bed and breakfast? It actually is not. It's a big doghouse. We built it. We actually love dogs. I've had dogs most of my life, and I've had Schipperkes since I was like 9 years old. And so over the years, we've always had Schipperkes. And so we have a few Schipperkes that we actually breed and have puppies. And I'll show you the puppies here. So come on inside.
Hey, Peaches. This
is Peaches, and she's a really good girl. And these are the babies. She's got 6 babies.
They're just so fat and chubby and happy, sleeping. Mama is like, what are you doing?
So to us, it's very important, if we're going to have dogs, to have a very good environment. I do not like or appreciate any type of backyard breeding or any of that type of thing. So for us, if we're going to actually breed dogs, it's very important that we have the very, very best top-of-the-line facilities that we can have. And we have beautiful runs outside, large runs for them to play. We have a sprinkler system for them to cool off if they get warm during the summer. We have these doggy beds that are like really luxurious. We feed them highest quality dog food we can find. They're on an automatic watering system that they have water, fresh water all the time. We clean this place, pressure wash it out constantly. So this place is like really clean. You could eat off the floor right now. Matter of fact, I mopped it last night. That's how clean this is. So for us, it's very important, like I said, to raise the very best, highest quality dogs that we can find, and only find responsible owners, pet owners, to raise them, find loving homes for them. So the Schipperkes do come in 3 colors, and we have all 3 colors. First of all, we have what you saw was Hershey. She was cream colored. And then we have, sorry, that was Peaches, was cream colored. This is Hershey. She's a chocolate Schipperke. Hey, Hershey. And then she's got black puppies. So they only come in black, chocolate, and cream. And so that's the chocolate with black puppies. And then Hershey is cream with cream puppies. And then we have, here's Copper. He's our male Schipperke, and he's a cream colored. And then we also have another cream Schipperke along with a black Schipperke. And we'll let all these dogs loose, and when we're working on our homestead, we'll let them out. They run around with us, and then we kennel them for the night. And so we make sure they're safe in their kennels, but we do let them out as well and run around. And then we have a few other dogs here. As you saw Autumn a minute ago, these are our Australian Labradoodles, and they're really, really good dogs. This is Moose, and that's Blessing right there. They're just a great dog, and we love them to death. They're so good. These are non-shedding dogs. They're super smart. Hey, little Ross, come on. I'll take you inside here. So I'll take you outside this door, and I'll show you our runs and the back side of the barn. Yeah, and you'll see it's nice and clean out here. Every day we pick up the manure, and so everything is nice and just clean. And like I said, we have an irrigation system to keep everything cool and the rocks clean, and the dogs, if they want to take a bath while they're out here. So yeah, this is the back side of our barn here. Again, a ventilation system sucks air through the building. And we actually store hay in the upper part of our barn here, so for like our goats. So we have hay up there. And each of these dogs has their own kennel, own run outside. So the doggy doors, they can go in and out whenever they choose to do so. Oh. Come on, Moose. Moose, come on.
Blessing.
Moose, come on. Come on, Blessing. Come around. Good girls. Stay. Here we've got big doors that we made for cabinet space, and we just simply have a lot of storage in here. Over in this door we have, this is our room that we can bath our dogs right here.
And a grooming table.
Yep, grooming table. And then, we can blow dry them over here and groom them or blow dry them, whatever we want. Here we've got electric hot water, so when we bath the dogs, that they have warm water, we don't give them cold water to bath. And then this is a hydrant right here, so I ran water into here, and whenever I want to winterize the place, if I want to, I could just close the hydrant, blow out the hoses, and then this place would be winterized. I don't have any waters in the wall. Mm-hmm. So I have an in-floor heating system so that the dogs never get cold, and it's all in here with some shelving space, but yeah, it's all the in-floor heating system's electric, and it warms up the floor, and you can get this thing cozy. I actually put spray foam insulation in the walls, and so everything is super tight and super warm during the wintertime. And in this room here, I just have my we have our cabinet space, and I keep all the files for the dogs, the records of the dogs in here. And I also built it for a whelping area if I need to have the puppies are having babies and I want to have them separately. I can just have them in here, and I can put a cot in here and spend the night with them if I need to, so they have their own quiet space. Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about the floor. This is an acid stained floor, and it was really fun making it. Everything looks like it's kind of like running into each other. We used a couple different colors to just acid stain it, and then we put a couple clear coats of finish over top of it. And everything, we have a drain here, so we can all the water will run right down into the drain, and it of course leaves the building outside. And then this is a door that we can, it's a ladder that we can open. The ladder drops down. There's a ladder that goes up, or the door drops down, and we can unfold the ladder and go up, and that's where we store our hay for our animals. Yeah, and we still want to do I would like to do a little bit more decor in here, like put a bench here for people if they come to find a puppy for themselves or pick up a puppy. We want to make it nice and comfortable for everyone, for the people and for the dogs. Right. Matter of fact, we had somebody today come and they spend a lot of time in with the puppies and holding them and deciding which one they want. So that's always fun. We love when people can come, enjoy what we built, and enjoy this place. And we really want it to have the feel of home. We want it to have a special place of peace when people come here, that they can experience the God's presence when they're here in the mountains and just the beauty of nature and creation. And so we hope that you can find this a little bit while watching the video. I'll take you up and I'll show you our milk goats. Now right now you can hear them. They are saying, "Please milk me, it's milking time." So we're going to go up and I'll show you what we have for our goats. And this is not our permanent facilities for our goats. This is just kind of a really temporary until we can have a better place to put them in. And I feed them second cutting alfalfa hay. And right now I just took the bale off because it was at the bottom of the pile. But what we do with this is all mulch for our garden. So we'll take this and I'll put it all in a pile. I'll take it out of here. I'll put it on a pile and then we'll let it mulch down and then we'll put it back in our garden. So we milk these goats twice a day, and we get, when they're milking heavy, we'll get a couple gallons a day. At least they milk about a gallon per goat per day. Right now they're a little bit off their prime because it's in hot weather and they don't milk as well when it's hot. But this is mainly a Sana. She's got a little bit more of another kind in her. And then the brown goat is a La Mancha. You look at her funny ears. That's how you can tell if it's a La Mancha. And these goats are good. Our boys milk them in the evening and I milk in the morning. And it's milking time right now, so their bags are really full. So we really enjoy our goats. And if you ever have a little bit of a homestead, a couple acres or an acre, I really recommend goats. They're great to raise, and they have so many purposes. They give you milk, and they give you mulch and manure to put compost for your garden, and they're just cool animals. They all have, like you can see, she really enjoys like friendship. They're pretty cool animals, really. I like goats. I think Snowflake, good girl. We raised her from a baby. So we had her mom for a long time, and then we kept her. Good girl. So now I'm walking here from our goat pen over to our chicken pen. And it's a nice little walk. Each time I'm in the mornings when I'm milking, I go milk the goats, then I always come over here to the chickens and just make sure they've got enough feed and water. Now it's Wyatt's job, he's Savin, to feed the chickens. So I have to keep an eye on him, make sure he does a good job, and he usually does. He's really good about it, but sometimes they run low on water and I want to make sure they have enough food. So we built this pen here for chickens, and originally we had some dogs in here, but mainly it's just for chickens. And what we do here is we can get the eggs. Well, let's go see if there's any eggs in here right now. There probably are. Out there's some. So there's different kinds of eggs, different kinds of chickens that we have. We hatched some this year. And so yeah, they lay in here, we can just get the eggs. And then all our slop that our waste from our, any scraps of food scraps that we have from the house, we bring it out here and they just gobble it right up. And most of these chickens we either hatched ourselves or got them when they were chicks. Actually, all of them, I think. So it's really nice to have your own eggs, and chickens do so many things. They provide meat for you, they provide eggs, they eat your compost, they make compost. It's just the chickens are great. Animals are so neat if you can use them in your flow of permaculture. So let me show you the tree house that the boys and I are making. When I say the boys, that refers to Justin and Ethan, who are 13. And all the kids, but it's really their idea. They are building a tree house right up here, and that thing is like quite a ways from the ground, but they wanted to make it way higher, and we have like a genie lift, and I have it extended all the way. I said there's no way I can go up there and build a tree house. I have to actually be within reach of the genie lift. So we built it. I convinced them to have it down where we can actually get to it. So we're going to build a little tree house up there, and it's a 6 foot by 8 foot with a 4 foot porch and railing. So it's a fun project. Been working on it a little bit here and there when we have time, some spare time. So that's the fun thing about the tree house.
So here we have all our, like a rows of carrots and a long row of purple cabbage, and we have red beets down there, lots of onions. It's the red onions or the purple onions, and we have rhubarb here. It's almost over with, but I had rhubarb all summer long.
Yeah, one unique thing about our garden that we have chosen to do that, you might notice that's a little bit different than most gardens. You don't see any dirt here. So you might wonder, how do we garden if there's no dirt? So what we've done is we've had varying success with it, I'll say that, but overall we've had pretty good success. And this year our garden is looking pretty good, but we do what we call a no-till garden. And that basically, in a nutshell, we brought in wood chips. We put wood chips over our entire garden, and then we have drip irrigation systems that run down each row. And what that does is it waters like in a V like this. So you have, wherever the plant is, it's watering out towards the roots. But wherever the rows are, you have like, here are the rows like this. So there's no water growing here. So then you don't have a weed problem. So the plants are getting good water, but the weeds are not getting any water. So there's no weeds. And with the no-till, the weeds don't grow in this in these chips. So it really is a good combination. We've had to tweak how we do things a little bit, but overall we really like this no-till gardening, and we hardly have any weeds. We do have to come out occasionally and weed a little bit, but some crops are doing really well. Some don't do as well, but as the chips break down more and decompose, it's getting better and better as we garden every year.
This greenhouse is almost seen its last days, but we put in some tomatoes in there, and they're doing pretty good. And we have a Concord grape right inside here. Yep.
Then on this side we have all our tea growing. We have like 3 varieties of tea, and it's almost like a weed. It wants to get out of control. But we have chocolate and then 2 other varieties here. But my wife makes an awesome iced tea. Basically, she just takes tea, blends it with water, put some stevia in it, and it's really, really good, refreshing. We might tell you how to get to the video, how to make it a little bit later. And in this area where you can see there's nothing planted, we've already harvested our garlic. And some of you're going to see we're at the end of our towards the end of our growing season on some of our earlier plants. So all our garlic has been harvested. We planted it here and as well as over here. So we've pulled that up. It's been harvested, and now Priscilla has planted nothing in here, but over here she's planted some new things for a fall planting.
Yeah. And here I have a row of tomatoes here. And this year I staked them up. I should have had a higher fence because they keep going really high, and I've been pulling off all the suckers, and that gives more fruit and not so much bush.
So now this is the first year we've actually used this ground cover, and so far we really liked it. We've used plastic before, but every year we have to have new plastic. And this year we use the ground cover, and all our squash and our melons, mainly our cantaloupe, muskmelons, and watermelon, are really late this year. We had a cold spring, and it lasted a long time. We didn't really get hot weather until much later than usual. So this year everything's later, and we're hoping we're going to get watermelon. We're almost ready. Here in a few weeks we'll probably get ready to eat our first cantaloupe, so that's good. Our pumpkins are doing well. And here are our watermelons. Some of our biggest watermelons are, not that big, but they're getting there. Typically this is completely covered. This whole area is covered with watermelons. So definitely later than usual. It's a little bit difficult to raise melon up here in northwest Montana.
The biggest one is over there.
Yeah, this one's about the football size, not quite.
I think most of them will make it.
All along our fence row we have grapes. And this is kind of my pride and joy. I really like grapes. I grew up in Montana, but I always had the understanding that there's a lot of things we can't grow in Montana, and I was mistaken. There's many things most things we can grow here actually. Our growing season is a little bit shorter, but these grapes are really awesome. I'll just show you some of these. They're really hanging heavy with grapes, if you can see up in there. And a lot of these they're still green, obviously. We're a little ways away from getting ripe. But we have multiple varieties along here, some seedless, some Concord grape, and some purple varieties, and they're really, really good to eat.
So our zucchini patch was doing very well this summer. I had a lot of zucchinis, and there's still a lot in there. I had yellow summer squash and these zucchinis. And over here, we've got our cucumbers crawling up this arbor here. So it makes it nice to pick them. And then we have these pole beans. We have Blue Lake pole beans, the green ones, and then we have yellow pole beans and some purple ones. So we're having fun picking those. They're just getting ready. And it's so much easier to pick.
Head level here.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. So yeah, they're pretty tasty. You just eat them right off the bush. Yep. And my wife likes a lot of flowers. So you can see this pavilion in the middle of the garden here. It serves no purpose for gardening other than just the beauty of relaxation and enjoying our garden. So she's got a lot of flowers around here. And I'd like to show you these evening primroses that we have right here. Now right now, they're not in bloom, but every evening just before dark, about 9:30 p.m., all these yellow flowers will start to bloom, and you can actually be out here in about 30 seconds they'll open. And in about 20 minutes, these whole bushes right here will just be completely yellow. And they're so beautiful, and they smell good.
Yeah.
And so they're really cool. They don't serve a purpose during the day except just greenery, but during the night they're awake all night, and they bloom in just before dark, and then the flowers wilt about mid-morning, about noon.
Yeah. The sunflowers are just volunteers. They just came up everywhere, so we just let them grow.
One thing about our garden is not everything is in straight rows and in perfect order. We like to have a lot of different variety, and so we kind of let things grow here and there. We even planted, we'll show you, we planted some potatoes in our orchard and some strawberries and some tomatoes. Just kind of plant things around as nature would have it. It doesn't have to be perfectly in straight order. These peas are at the end of their life. We're going to pull those out shortly. Our corn, as you can see, is getting, what do you think, Chloe? About ready to eat? Not quite. They're a little bit small yet, but we're getting there. A few more weeks probably.
Yeah.
Need some hot weather yet. We have a number of different varieties of potatoes growing down here. This is a huge raspberry patch that we have. It's one of the bigger ones that we've had, tallest at least, and we harvested just pounds and pounds of raspberries off of these bushes. And we have two varieties. We have a yellow variety, which is our favorite, as well as the red variety, and they're both everbearing. Especially the yellow ones will bloom again later.
They're almost over with, but now we have the blackberries.
Yeah, these blackberries are just starting to ripen, and there's found the first black one. There's a lot of green ones growing on here.
Let's see, let's keep on going down here. We'll see them over here. There.
Maybe that one.
Oh, and here are some, oh, there's a nice black one in there. I want to pick it. Babe, it almost seems like there's not enough water on some of this. Oh, look at those.
Almost look like it's dying, that one or something.
I know.
Broke off, or what?
It broke off, yeah.
Want to eat it, Chloe?
Dies essa. Do you schregler?
Ja, du har nästan gixig då.
Ja. Mi pranet den only get a brama.
Sure, it's nice.
Okay.
These berries are black raspberries, and so they're a lot smaller, but they're tasty. They're kind of seedy, so they're not my favorite.
They're completely over with, so.
And this is Priscilla's herb garden, and she's just got a lot of different plants in here.
Yeah, it's pretty overgrown. I have all those flowers over there. That's all oregano.
Look at all the bees on there. I have honeybees, and they're just loaded on these flowers right now, making honey for us. That's so awesome to see. It's perfect.
And I've got comfrey here. I've got basil. I've got parsley. Here is dill. And I forget what that weed is called. Love something.
Love lead or something.
Yeah, it's kind of like a celery.
Yep. And you got some thyme down here.
Yeah, some thyme and also some chives. But yeah, it needs a little love, this garden
And
right
here's
here.
our asparagus patch. This thing does not do very well for some reason, but we did get quite a few asparagus, and these are now the leftovers that are just growing up to seed. I see some celery seed fell into there. Then we have more flowers along the bottom. We have roses that grow here, and more grapes all along the side here. There's grapes growing, and different kinds of lupins and stuff growing down here.
This is Swiss chard, and then I have spinach up there, and I have lettuce here, and arugula, and just some lettuce and stuff that will be good in the fall.
Peas and some beans looks like
Yeah.
too. Yep. Let's go up and check out the orchard. And again, this area was where the garlic was at. This has already been harvested.
Yeah.
Now we've got a lot of trees up here in the orchard. There's pear, apple, plum, cherry, no apricot, peach trees, Red Haven peaches. And our trees sometimes do really well in some years, and then other years they don't do as well. So we're still learning. That's the fun thing about gardening and homesteading, is there's always so much to learn about it. It never ends. But we're going to get quite a few nice apples off of these trees here. We have Red Delicious, Yellow Delicious, and a bunch of different ones.
Last year we had so many apples from our own trees that we got over 100 quarts of applesauce.
Right,
so
that was
really
awesome.
Nice.
So Priscilla makes all our own applesauce, so yeah, over 100 quarts. And yeah, you can see they're hanging pretty heavy. They're not as heavy this year as they were last year. And then this tree right here is our peaches. So the peaches are growing nicely on here. These are Red Havens, and they're about a month away from being ready.
And there's a big tomato stalk right in here.
Oh yeah, we planted a big tomato stalk. There's one here, down here at my feet. And these just kind of grow around here. Another one here. We just kind of planted them here just for grins because we had some extra ones. Now here's a little experiment I did. I'm not sure how well it's going to work out, but I just took a couple straw bales and I planted some potatoes in here. So these potatoes are growing right out of the straw, and I'm hoping once they're ready, they don't look like they're doing as well for some reason, but I'll just open up the straw bale and then we'll just pull the potatoes out and harvest them right there. Another nice feature about permaculture is everything works in conjunction with each other. For example, on purpose we have our chickens up here, so whenever we have extra garden food, like for any weeds, maybe have weeds or leftover lettuce or anything, we'll just throw it right over to the chickens. They'll eat that up. And then in turn, as it rains, their manure and stuff leaches down through here, and everything grows really well in the garden because of that. As well as we take our, each fall we take whatever compost that we have in there and we'll put it on our garden. So everything works together in harmony is the whole idea. This was a bit of an experiment that I tried. I basically planted these dwarf trees. They're supposed to grow about 5 to 7 feet tall, which I have to keep them pruned. But what I did is I strung these wires across here, and then I tied their branches going this way. So there's no branches coming out except just some new growth. And then all the apples are going to grow in basically like a wall right here. So all I have to do is just walk on this side, pick the apples, and walk on that side and pick the apples. So that's kind of a fun experiment that we tried. And then our strawberry patch is, of course, completely over with, but we just had a lot of strawberries this year here. And we need to kind of they just kind of grew in one big mat, so it's kind of hard. We didn't really have rows, but next year I'll have to kind of trim them and put some more chips down so we have some rows to work with. And I have to get this thing staked up. It's on my to-do list. You can see it's almost falling over, breaking off. There's so many peaches on here, and I probably already took off when they were small, probably 100. And this is just what's left over. It's probably still too many, but I have so many peaches on here. I have to get it staked up tonight so we don't lose the tree. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tour of our garden here. And there's a lot more things that we have planted around the perimeter. We have kiwi. We planted some figs. Those didn't actually make it, but we have a lot of flowers. We have irises and just a lot of different things around the outside. So we hope that you enjoyed this part of the tour. Let's go check out some of the other things that we're doing. Let me tell you a couple things about our home next. In a later video, actually, we'll do a tour of the inside, so just kind of keep your eyes open for that. It'll be maybe a month or a little bit down the road. We haven't shot that one yet. But this is, obviously, when we came here, this was just woods. And recently, we've done some work on it, and we're always working on it, seems like. We're not totally done yet. We still want to have some steps out here and landscaping. There's a lot of work still left to be done. But basically, we have 3 full floors, and it's a daylight basement down here. We live on the main level, and then we have obviously an upstairs with bedrooms and etc. But we really enjoy the big porch that we have out here with the view of the mountains, and yeah, we really love it here. We're still working on just always upgrading and making things a little bit nicer, bringing them up to specs and that type of thing. Now, this is a nice place to come out on a summer evening and just enjoy the view that we have. Right now it's very hard to see. You can't really see the mountains because the sun is right shining at us, but it's a little bit hazy, maybe a forest fire somewhere. But we've been really blessed this year. We haven't had really any fires that we've had to deal with for smoke. But yeah, just a beautiful place here. We have these hops growing up the edges here, and they really kind of create some shade and some greenery up here. Sometimes we'll have dinner out here or barbecue a little bit. So it's nice. Eventually I would like to have a fireplace on the outside here with a grill with rock going up here. That's kind of my long-term goal. And we're still working on getting the outside chinked. We have, in some places we've done it around the front, but we're still working on going around the outside. That's just something that you can do later when you build a log home. You don't have to do it right away. So we just chose to wait a while. And this summer we put the dark stain on it with kind of like a mortar grade chinking, so it makes the logs kind of pop out a little bit. So this is our little doggie, meet Autumn. She is an Australian Labradoodle and she's smart as a whip. She's our little house puppy. She doesn't shed. Matter of fact, we raise Australian Labradoodle puppies, dogs. And we have a website. It's called MontanaHavenLabradoodle.com. So if you want to check them out, see what they do, you can check us out there, MontanaHavenLabradoodles.com. I'll show you the chinking over here. So here you can see the mortar gray chinking on the darker logs. It kind of makes it look like a lodge, a little bit like Lake McDonald Lodge in Glacier National Park. It kind of looks nice with the greenery. But yes, we do need landscaping. Eventually we'll have this nicely landscaped. But for now, we're still working on that. Our barn was the big project, and now next year we hope to move towards landscaping.
So if you haven't been bored so far, we have our own YouTube channel called Montana Haven. There will be a link in the description where you can follow us there.
Yeah, so we hope you enjoyed this video, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.